There are a couple tricks that can make things easier for you when loading your bike, and one of those is to reduce the angle that you have to go up. That can make things quite a bit easier. So what I do here is I park my truck so that the rear tires are at the lowest point. I have a bit of a slope to the driveway and the road is crowned, so that levels it out just a bit, but enough to make it a lot easier to get the bike up there. Next thing I like to do is get the straps all in place. The Canyon Dancer for the front, or whatever kind of tie down you prefer for the bars, as well as one on each side for the rear. And also don't forget to tie down your ramp, particularly the one that the bike is going to go on. That's the one I prioritize. The next thing I like to do is to make sure that my bike is lined up with the ramps before I get started. Making sure that front wheel's on there is easy enough to check, but if you're out of alignment, that rear wheel might not necessarily get straight up on the ramp. After that, I will start it up, take it off the stand, and ease it up there. Now I can straddle the bike to keep it upright, grab the ratchet strap for the front on one side, put it over the bars, climb off, get to the other side, attach that to the anchor point, and start ratcheting. Now I know it's not going to fall over the opposite way because I've got that ratchet strap started. Then I can climb back over to the other side, start the other side, get it ratcheted. Now I know it's not going to go either direction. And I'll move my ramps so I can move about the truck more freely. Go to the front and cinch that, making sure to keep it upright. Then cinching the rear and tying up the strap ends to make sure they don't flutter in the breeze, and the load is secured. How tight is tight enough? Well, you're going to need some judgment on that one. Obviously, you don't want to fully compress your front suspension. You'll be killing it. Compress it a bit. Like, if I can reef on this and it's not moving, you're totally good. You don't need to over cinch the front end. You could hurt your forks. You could even, I suppose, dent the bulkhead of your truck, whatever. Just make sure it's good enough. Don't overdo it, don't underdo it. How's that for specification? And then I like to do the back as well. I mean, technically you probably wouldn't have to, but I prefer to do that. Make sure you do it in a way that your hooks aren't going to slide as the bike jiggles. I've had that happen where maybe I've hooked it here and it's just slid up or down. If it can slide, then it's getting loose. Also, I trim these to make sure that they're not too long. Tie downs are cheap, so have some dedicated just to your bike. That's what I do. And then I make sure these aren't too long so that they don't stream down the roadway if they should come untied or whatnot, and they're just not a pain in the butt to use. Exactly the same configuration on the other side. I made sure that nothing is interfering with brackets or hoses or whatnot, and yeah, pull it down so the rear end is got a little compression to it, but again, don't overdo it. So anyway, that's all it takes. Well, the key to unloading, that's even more important than loading, is to make sure that everything is lined up, because your rear wheel is leading the charge and obviously there's no steering that. So you want to keep one eye on that, one eye on the front wheel, and make sure they're both on your ramp. And if, like me, you don't have a stand attached to your bike, then you're going to want to make sure you get that prepared. Otherwise, you're really going to have your hands full. The rest of the process of unloading the bike is basically the opposite of loading the bike. You don't have to detach the front strap from one side. You can just throw that over the front. Then when you pull it out, just put it back into neutral and pull it out. Take it slowly, modulate the brake so it's not going to run away from you, and just take it basically rung by rung, little by little, and you'll get it safely out of your truck. And now your bike is safe and secure. Hope you enjoyed this video and learned something. And if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. I'll get back to you.